Hi guys. Well, like I said, welcome again. I know we met in class, but today, like I said, I was going to record the video so that we discuss more in details about the e-learning in education. So in today's topic, we are talking about the influence of the World Wide Web evolution on education. How does the World Wide Web influence the education system? So that is what we'll be talking about, the first thing. Remember in the previous class, we were talking about what is ICT, and then we conclude that e-learning is also part of ICT, and also the use of ICT tools in e-learning and all the presentations that you did. But then today we are talking about World Wide Web. World Wide Web is actually associated with what is called internet. So if we may just look at the basic definition of what is a World Wide Web, like how it is being defined. So, and World Wide Web is a system, okay? Okay, it's an information system, just a web. It's a web. It's like the name is saying. It's somehow there are things that are connected. If you look at most of images when they're talking of web, they would show a website kind of. So representing a web. Then is information system on the internet, which allows documents to be connected to another document by hypertext link. So meaning those documents is when you look at a certain website, it's basically just a document, and that is what we are talking about, a World Wide Web. It's a web, that is a document that is on internet, and it's actually linked to another document and another document. Websites have different links that you need to open a certain tag or a tab. You open it, it directs you to another page, okay, or as it's called, a document. So that is actually what World Wide Web is all about, and it enables users to search for information by moving from one document to another document, simply moving from one page to another page on that particular website. Okay, so that is what it actually mean, right? What you also need to look at is that a web has been revolving. Okay, it has been changing. We started with web 1. Okay, there's web 1 that you need to know about. That is, web 1 was just basically it was just a static information, a static website. This web it wasn't actually that will allow you to interact with this kind of website. This informatic web, it's a website that you need to go to, and it's only for you to read the information. If you remember those years, this kind of websites, you don't do anything. It's just for you to go and read. Somebody's maybe advertising, or maybe they're uploading some information. It was more of developers creating this kind of websites. Okay, it has nothing with you able to communicate, or you as a user wanting to add some information on that, or interacting with people on social media. And that's what led us now to Web 2. With Web 2 is the same as a social web, because then it's no longer you viewing information on the website, but it is you viewing information on the website and you being able to add your own information on that particular website. Okay, so that is where that is what Web 2 does. It does allow you to communicate with a website. When it comes to Web 3, it's actually more different, because then it's no longer you communicating with the website, you communicating on the website, but it's also more about the website communicating with another website, collecting data and information from other websites. So in Web 3, things are now decentralized. Well, information are now coming from different they're now coming from different websites, and different websites are able to communicate, meaning you can be able to enter information on one website, and you'll notice that that particular information that you entered on one website, it can be shared among other websites. Okay, so now websites are also communicating with one another. When it comes now to Web 4, it's more of intelligent. It's more of Internet of Things, because now it needs to involve object as well. It needs to involve other objects. It's no longer just websites between website and websites, and between websites and people. But in this case, it includes even objects are involved on providing information or data on the web. So that is basically what is happening in Web 4. But when we come now to Web 5, it's more of biological, or like the name is actually saying, is a cybotic. So now it includes even webs reading people. Okay, a web can actually be able to tell you how you are feeling today. How are you doing today? So they will be able to read even human interactions. Okay, so how the expression, not interactions, but actually the expression. So that is all about the evolution of World Wide. Now, here comes the thing. How does it then affect our education system? What does the web has to do with our education? I have some article here that I just want to read quick, so that you will then understand how does then the web, okay? So how does the web really impact the education system? Okay, so let me just look for it, because then if I can just read even what they are saying here, that the web refer to web information or perception, that is Web 1, and Web 2 as a web of verbalization, and Web 3 as a web of affiliation, and Web 4 as a web of integration, and Web 5 as a decentralized, a smart communication. So this is what this paper is talking about, and this paper has been written by this. Okay, let me just share this article that I'm reading here, from these three gentlemen, the professors, and it was written in 2016. Okay, it was written in 2016. So let me just share so that you see where I'm reading. Let me share to you this article that I'm reading here. Okay, it's actually here. Let me share that to you so that you see which one now I am. So this is the article that I'm talking about, that talks about the evolution of the World Wide Web, from the Web 1 to 1.0 to 6.0. Okay, so this is the articles that I was just reading to you now, how they have actually summarized and what they are saying about web. There's actually up to Web 6. So webs, they keep on changing and changing and changing and changing and changing and changing from this one to another to this one. So they just, in their paper, they will actually want to attempt to build users centric view on the position of the future generation when it comes to web. So if you can find this paper, then you can go and read more, because they have really spoken and really highlighted nicely on the different types of webs that we have. So go and look at it, read it, so that you will be able to understand more on the different types of webs that we have. Okay, so then we need now to go back to our slides. Now to go back to our slides, let me just show the new slides so that we go back to our slides. Okay, so now they are viewing. Is viewing. Okay, so now the question that I was asking is that how does this web then contribute to our learning? Okay, having all these webs coming from the one that's the static one going to the 4th to the 6th. I don't know how many webs are there, but how does the website affect our learning? And the thing is that with the web in place, it influences the kind of information that we share on the website. So the kind of information, and it also influences the quality of students and the learning, because then it allows us to have the blended learning. It's like what we are doing currently. I will be able to share this video on a website, on the e-learning, and you'll be able to view on YouTube, you'll be able to view it. But imagine before, it was only those who knew how to program that could give us the information, and it was only for us to read. But now you have a lot of websites that has been developed that you will be able to interact with people from outside. Yeah? People that are not only within your area, you'll be able to interact with people that are from outside, because then the web allow us to communicate. Okay, it gives us that opportunity to, even this video calling, it's through a website, it's done through a web, and it's because the web keeps on involving. So right now we can record our videos, and then also with the web that is going ahead, forward and changing, it also allows us to have virtual meetings. When we can have a live class, like in the coming weeks, we'll be having our own live class. Those live class, we are having them on websites. It's because of the change, the technologies of web that has been changing and improving every day for us to have this kind of platforms. E-learning basically it's on a web, okay, and it started from the web 2 going forward. Okay, so if I have to actually say it in that way, and the trend in the web to outline, it's actually, we are looking at artificial intelligence here. We are also looking at big data, that web will be connected to a smart information that you will be able to search, and you'll be able to have a value information that is designed for you. Okay, and that is the good thing with the web, especially in the current web. I don't know if we are in the web 4, web 3, but we are between there. As per this guy is saying, we are in the web 4. But anyway, in any kind of web that we are now, you notice that when you're any kind of a website that you visit these days, you get the information that you have been accessing so many times. And that's why we also have cookies on website, is so that they can actually extract the data looking at our behavior on the internet, so that they'll be able to provide us with what we really, really need on our needs, depending on our needs. So the website, they actually do give us our own preference. Sometimes you don't have to go and search for information. You find that the website, they will actually give you what you want. And that is the job of the cookie, is to analyze your behaviors on internet, so that they'll be able to give you the best information that you need. So when it comes now to education, imagine knowing that when you visit all this website, they'll be able to give you the correct information that you want, and the type of data that you want. You'll be using it in your learning. Okay, so that is actually the good thing with there's a lot of good thing when it comes to information and web. And that also allows us to access information on the web. It's because of the web that we'll be able to access a lot and the different types of information all over the world. These days, you do not only need to have a textbook with you to access the information, but having the e-libraries is because of the webs that are evolving and changing every day. And this gives us the access to adequate information, if I should put it that way. And when you're accessing the information, you'll be able to identify, retrieve, and use that information effectively. Okay, the information that is coming from a web. Okay, you will be able to use it effectively. It's like when you guys were collecting your writing your articles, where were you getting this information? All this information were coming from articles. And where do you get these articles? You are getting them from web. And that is the good thing of web when it comes now to education era. Okay, so we are also looking at taxonomy and floxonomy. Okay, with the taxonomy, it's a classification designed by the owner of the content and specify when it can be published. So within our web, okay, we are still talking on the web. Within our web, we are accessing information coming from different content developers. Okay, we are accessing information coming from different developers. Now, those who are providing information on the web, they actually have there's what is called a taxonomy that helps them then to classify their content, and they will be able to specify as to when it can be published. If you look at the web of even YouTube does that easily, because then whatever information or content that you decide to develop, it will be up to you to say, when are you going to upload it? Okay, so and it's also the same with any other social media that you find, or any other website. The bloggers, they will create a certain content, and it's actually up to them to say, yeah, well, I am going to do my content like this, and I'll be able to share it when, on which website, and how, and for who. Okay, the owner of people who have developed such information. Now, when it comes to floxonomy, this classification is actually for the end users, not for the ones that are developing the content, but for the ones that are receiving the content. What they will be able to do is to tag and say, which kind of information do I need to read? And you'll be able to tag, like you'll be able to mark the kind of information that you will be able to read from the website. So that is the taxonomy as well as the floxonomy. So those are the two terminologies that you find mostly on the web. And this is something that we always do. Okay, when you are reading information, like even myself, the kind of information that I read, sometimes I need to pin them so that I can come and read them later. Okay, so, and I also have to apply to say, okay, which information is really suitable for me and which information is not suitable for me. So that is the taxonomy as well as the floxonomy. As a developer now, I'm doing this video, I'm trying to create this content. It's actually up to me to know when I should upload it and when I should not upload it. And I'm developing it for you and putting it there on the web. Thank God to the web that we really have all these wonderful things that we are able to do with internet. Okay, then we come now with a visualization and storytelling. What web allow us to do is to tell our stories in a visual form, in an image form. This is what I'm doing currently. What I'm doing now, I'm telling my story, how I understand web and the evolution, as well as when it comes in education and how it's being used in education. So I'm telling you my story in the form of me recording this video, me showing you the slides. You'll be able to see my face. You'll be able to see my slides. So that is the whole thing of storytelling as well as visualization when it comes to web. Okay, so it allows us to do all those things. So like what you're saying, visualization is just a form of material image, of imagination, of image, okay, image of imagine. So you are just there to imagine, but you imagine when you are seeing things, when you are visualization, when you are able to see what is happening. And storytelling, it's also in the same line, because when you're telling a story, people will be able to visualize what you're talking about. Anyway, it engage as your voice and some of more clear photos, pictures, films. So this is exactly what I'm doing. And this with the web, it allows us to do this, to tell our stories in a visualization form, in a visualization format. Okay. And then also with the helps of now social networks. Oh my God, this years, the recent years, social media and social networks and social platforms are booming and are being used in the context of education, that people are there learning. But what is social network? It's a website that allows people with similar interests to come together and share information, photos, videos, whatever that you find. So that is what social networks is all about. We are here on internet, on the website, like what we are doing now. We are on the LMS trying to share all this. We have the same interest, which is just education. It's also part of social networks. It could be that it's an e-learning platform, it's a learning management platform, but this is something of us socializing. We are able to communicate and to come together and we learn. Even social networks are considered that way, that you go there as long as you have the same interest. Having a Facebook page, an Instagram account, a YouTube account, having a Twitter account, having a TikTok account, all those ones, you use them for learning. They are not only there to promote lifestyles, but they are also there to promote education. You can have your own page there. You will be able to learn and to teach something from social networks and social media platforms. Okay, so those are the things that we do with the web, and that is the benefits and the beauty of web. They are evolving and they are giving us new things and so forth. And you even see my own video right now, it does not have even a lot of visualization, but you find people who are good in developing this content. You find images, there's animations going on, and even on social media, you upload these things, you will be able to reach more and more and more and more audience and more learners, more students. Okay, that's why we have e-learning platforms that we have spoken about, such as Udemy, okay, Coursera, all those ones, they are part of this web that you're talking about. So that actually brings us to the end of today's lesson. So in the next one, we'll be talking about open philosophy. So that's what we'll be talking about, and the open resources, e-learning resources, materials on the social, on the website, the open source one, okay, the open educational resources and all that. So I will see you in class, okay? So bye-bye until actually next time that we meet again in class. This time we are going to meet in class. And please, if you have any question that you want to ask me, do not hesitate to send me an email and say, I did not understand here and there. Or better still, you can ask the class rep to ask me, or better still, note down your question so that when we meet in class again, you'll be able to ask some of the questions. Okay. So until next time, is ciao, ciao, bye.